Hi, welcome to the Coffee Chat Show here on Buzzing Pattaya, the show where we talk about things that are happening right here, right now, as well as general news, tips, information and advice. Now, delighted that joining me today is Tony. How the devil are you, sir?
Good, mate.
You looking good? You're looking good? So
Thanks,
do we
mate.
get this out of the way early or should we leave it till later on?
Go on, give it to me.
Right, so we've had this ongoing debate, right? I think he looks like Alan Minter. He's trying to big himself up as Antonio Banderas.
Give me a break.
And we have this crack all the time. It's brilliant. So come on, guys. Before we get into talking about what it's like here owning the bar and some of the problems that Tony's facing and the situation that we're in right now, Antonio Banderas or Alan Minter? Google it. Have a look at the pictures now. Tell me which one.
Or Jeff Fennick.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Jeff Fennick.
Jeff Fennick, for all the Aussies out there.
But what I'm disappointed about is you're getting Alan Minter, Antonio Banderas, Jeff Fennick. I get the sloth or from the Goonies.
Well,
it's not good, mate.
Change your hairstyle, mate.
I need more than a haircut. Anyway, I'm great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, mate.
I want to talk to you a lot about the Sweets Lounge, which is your business here.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, tell me a bit about yourself, Tony. Like, when did you first come out? Where are you from?
I'm from Australia, but I worked in the oil and gas industry for about 10 years in Pacific Islands.
Okay, oh nice.
And I decided to come here 2017, and I thought it was a good idea to open a bar. But
and you still got your hair.
I know, shocking. Yeah, I mean it's a tough gig owning a bar. So I came here to semi-retire and just sort of have the bar as a bit of a hobby, really.
So now you're working harder now than what you were when you were actually
Exactly.
working.
Yeah, I know. It's 24/7.
It is.
Never stops.
A lot of people don't realise that. A lot of people perceive the bar life as being really easy and all the rest of it. We'll talk about that in a lot more detail in a bit. In terms of coming here, so you first came to Thailand?
Probably back in early 2000s.
Okay.
But I was working in the oil and gas industry, so I was just coming and going, working overseas, coming back, all that sort of stuff. So, but I moved here in 2017, bought the shop, and yeah.
And the rest, as we say, is history.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you first came to Pattaya, what did you make of it?
I loved it, like everybody does. You know, I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's paradise. You know. And there's a lot more to Pattaya than just the bar scene and, you know, what's around Soi Cow or Walking Street or Soi 6 or, you know, like once you get yourself out of Pattaya, you know, there's places not too far away. Going to Koh Chang tomorrow, now that I've got a bit of time on my hands. So, yeah, there's a lot of other things to do apart from just the bar scene.
I must admit, I'm really pleased you said that because I say this all the time. I say, guys, you know, you come here, you can party hard, no dramas. You can do it 24/7 if you really want.
If you really want it.
But there is, like you said, so much more to this wonderful city. And like you say, you know, Koh Chang, even go to Koh Lan, you know, Koh Si Chang up the road. There's so many different places. Yeah. Over on the east side of Pattaya, golf, all these kind of things that, you know, you can really go out and experience and enjoy. Yeah. And I know you like your riding, so you're off on a journey, aren't you? You're off on a trip.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now that I've got a bit of time on my hands, going to spend a bit of time doing the things I wanted to do before when I didn't really have time because the bar was open.
Yeah, you're actually going to do what you set out to do when you first come here.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like you've done.
Exactly.
I mean, I want to talk about the bar scene, and that's the reason why we're here today, guys. You know, a lot of people watching these videos and come out here perceive the bar owner, the bar manager, the bar scene to be a breeze, to be like, oh, it's easy, just go out there, get yourself a load of girls, open the bar, the job's done, and it's easy. And I know through our friendship here that you've experienced some very, very tough times, which you've kindly agreed to share with us here today.
Yep.
So in terms of, let's start from the beginning. When you first opened the bar, what was your hardest point of the bar? When you first opened, what was the hardest obstacle you had to overcome?
Probably the regulate. I mean, that was back in 2017. Yeah. So if we're talking back then, just the regulations and the amount of time and money you spend on getting all the certificates and licenses, and you know, it's not just one license. You know, you've got to have a license for music. You got to have a license for this. The government introduced another certificate you've got to have to pay alcohol tax.
Right.
And there's a whole heap of things involved in having a bar that you just think, oh, I'll just open a bar. It's not like that.
What was it like surrounding yourself by women?
Now it's kind of like, people think I've got the dream life, but it's kind of like when it's there all the time, you don't really sort of take much, you kind of take it for granted, I suppose. But yeah, it's okay, I guess.
But I mean, you've gone from one side of the fence to the completely opposite side of the fence, because obviously you came here as a customer.
Yep.
So you're walking around enjoying.
I think most people do.
Yeah, enjoying what you perceive. Oh, he's got it easy, that guy there. Look, he's surrounded himself by girls. He's running the bar, easy dream.
Yep.
To then sitting there, the other side of the fence, going, oh man, they're arguing between each other.
Yeah.
They're falling out with each other. They're bickering. I mean, how difficult is it? Because I think from our perspective, especially when you're not from Thailand, I think our working environments are very regimented. We don't have time for that.
That's right.
Listen, guys, if you've got a dispute, you take it away from work. You're here to work.
Yep.
They bring it into work here, and then you have to manage that. I mean, how difficult has that been?
I mean, managing the girls are the most difficult. Getting all the regulations and all that sort of stuff right. That's starting out. That's probably the hardest thing. But once you get into actually running it, the girls are obviously the most difficult aspect of it, like getting stock and fixing, air conditioners, all that sort of stuff. That's one part of it, but actually managing the girls and keeping them all happy and very, very difficult.
I'm laughing because I'm looking at your face while you're saying, and you got to do that. Oh God, and I've got to do that. And you're still smiling.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, have a look around. It's,
Yeah.
How could you not be happy?
Absolutely. So things were going good to start with. Open the bar, everything's all good. Obviously, before the situation we've been in over the last 2 years, obviously no one could have ever predicted what we've just been through. When you first opened and you first started, in terms of your expectations, how did you think things were going? Were you happy with the procedure, the way it was progressing, or?
What do you mean?
So when you opened your bar first,
it was fantastic. I got a real bargain in Soi Honey. It was just the dream deal, really. Bought it from a guy who was desperate to leave, and the first few months were unbelievable. I just thought, wow, how good is this? But pretty much ever since then, it's just slowly got in worse and slowed down more and more. I don't know whether that's more competition or change in regulations by the government or currency exchange, for example. I mean, guys were losing. I remember back in the day, even for the Australian dollar, we were getting like 30 baht to the dollar, but then it went down to 20, which is like, it's a 30% drop, which is a lot. Yeah. So all of those things combined, it just sort of slowly dropped off until obviously COVID, and then last year basically closed for almost the entire year.
So you're closed for the year. Obviously, you must be sitting there thinking to yourself, well, it's got to end eventually.
Yeah.
And when it ends eventually, hopefully we'll pick up and we'll carry on from where we left off. Obviously, there was going to be some teething problems once the situation we were in was over.
Yep.
And that's what's led us today to talking, because it's been a tremendously difficult time, hasn't it? Since the restrictions are being released, and now you're in a situation where there's girls, etc., issues. I mean, tell me about the situation we're in right now.
Well, we're going to close temporarily for a couple of months, just to sort of allow more tourists to come back, because the situation at the moment is there's a lot of bars opening. People have been closed for a very long time, and they're desperate to open. But with all the businesses opening and some big clubs, some new clubs, a lot of places have renovated, and some fantastic places to go. But the problem is that you end up diluting the few tourists that are coming.
Sure.
There's just not as many as what a place like Pattaya needs to really sort of get it up and running again.
How hard has it been to find girls to come and work in the bar? Because obviously, they've all went back home. 95% went back home, a few stayed here, but then they're now coming back, and I guess am I right in saying that maybe the pendulum swung in their direction now, because they're the ones saying, well, listen, guys, you need us to work in your bar, so what are you going to pay me? What's it all
Well,
about?
a few things have happened. During the pandemic, they found a lot of other ways to make money, whether it be selling things online, whether it be, their Facebook profile or whatever it was. So they've made other ways to make money, which is easier than, working in a bar,
Sure.
drinking every day, and whatever. So you can get girls to work for you, but yeah, they are commanding a lot more money for their salaries. And, to be fair, their cost of living has gone up as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
fertiliser's gone up. Back in the farm, fuel's gone up, and, so their expenses have gone up. So they, they need their salaries to go up. So, yeah, it's tough with the girls, and with the bigger clubs opening, a lot of places paying more than what they did before to get more girls to work in their club. So you've got big clubs with a lot of girls, and not so many customers, but they're willing to pay the money to have the girls, fill their room up.
I think one of the things that must be hard as well, and I think maybe people that are not in the bar industry won't maybe necessarily appreciate so much, is when you do have the girls with you, when you have your Mama San and your girls, it isn't necessarily just work, it's more of a family.
Oh, absolutely.
They look at you as like the big
Yeah.
boss and like Papa and all that, and then they look at the Mama San, Mama and Mare, well, they call her Mare, but
Yeah.
I mean, emotionally, how difficult has it been to say to yourself, do you know what? It isn't working right now. That's not to say it's not going to work in the future. It's just we need to have a little pause and just reset.
Yeah.
How hard has it been to tell that to the girls?
That's the hardest thing. I mean, yeah, you essentially become like their father figure or whatever, and they look up to you. And when times are tough, you're the one that has to take money out of your pocket and help them out.
Yeah.
And somebody in the family has an illness or whatever. It actually reminds me of Papua New Guinea a lot when I was working there. The sort of culture and the employer becomes like the father figure or the person responsible for taking care of the family's medical,
Sick buffaloes.
yeah, whatever. All sorts of things come up, and that's fine when you've got one or two kids, but when you've got 10,
30.
15, 20, 30, it gets to be a bit of a problem.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, talking of problems, without going into specifics and details, what's been the hardest aspect of owning a bar in terms of with the girls? Because obviously, I know myself, I've lived here 10 years, I work in this industry, so I do know of some, like you say, this has happened, that's happened, this is happening, you think, oh God. What's been some of the hardest situations you've had to get your head around and look back and go, damn, really? Is that really what you're going to present with me right now?
Hardest situations, I think, well, probably COVID, and actually managing the closure wasn't so bad, but the reopening has probably been the toughest thing in the whole, in the 5 years I've had the bar, reopening, which everybody's been very excited about, but has been very difficult. So yeah, it's hasn't been an easy time.
I must admit, obviously, we come into your bar, and the guys that have been on the bar calls that we've had a fantastic time. You really do have a lovely bar and a great set of girls. So for you to make the decision and say, look, we've got to just hold on for a bit. It's not the right time right now. There's too much going on, like you mentioned. It must be a really bitter pill to swallow.
Oh, it's not you've got to know when to, what's that saying? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them,
Oh, right, he's showing his hand now.
No, that's, who was it? Kenny Rogers, I think. Anyway.
Alan Minter, wasn't it?
Anyway.
It wasn't Antonio Banderas.
No, definitely wasn't. No, you've just got to know when the right time, and right now, in terms of my own personal, being separated from my family back home for a long period of time, I've got to go back and deal with things there. The low tourist numbers that are here, the shortage of girls, just the whole situation. I mean, it's the right time just to pull back and just go, you know what, I think I'll just take a couple of months off and reassess, see what the market's doing, and you know, I mean, you see every day there are clubs opening every day, like big clubs, and you know, they just draw so much attention. When a new bar or a club opens up, they draw so much attention, and the ones that have been open for 6 months or whatever, they get forgotten about, and yeah, it's just a very competitive market. So that's why I've made the decision to sort of slow down a little bit. I'll take a couple of months off. I think just 2 months at this stage, but I'll just let 2 months go by, and then we'll reassess and see what's happening.
I think what you said there was really important, that there is a lot of new places opening here. And it seems to me, and I don't know if you agree with me here on this, Tony, but it seems to me that some places are going to open irrespective.
Of
and
course.
they've got a big bankroll that they can say, "Do you know
some
what?
guys
We'll
have got
chuck
a massive financial backing, you know, and the bigger clubs, I think, I mean, I don't know, but I've got a couple of friends that own the bigger clubs. They seem to be doing okay. The smaller bars like mine in Soi Honey don't get the patronage that we used to get before COVID. I think that'll come back, but it'll just be, this reopening is going to be, it's not like flicking a switch and all of a sudden the lights come on and everything's, you know, wonderful again. It's going to take a period of time. And I think one of the biggest issues also is, because people have been locked down for so long, you know, almost 2 years of lockdowns, they kind of want to stay at home now. Before they were travelling a lot because that was their habit, but now their habit has been to stay at home, and they're more reluctant to jump on a plane and, you know.
I must admit, like, a lot of the feedback we get, particularly like through Discord and comments on our YouTube channel, is a lot of people, even though there are still plenty of people coming out here and travelling, and they still have a fantastic time.
Yeah.
But what I have found and noticed is a lot of people saying, do you know what, when the final restrictions are over, then we're going to do it.
That's right.
Then we're going to travel freely. We're not still prepared to accept some of the restrictions.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think, you know, looking from the outside in, it's easy for us, we're sat here, but for those that are not here that want to come over, it is a lot to ask. There are still a lot of hoops to jump through. There's still a lot of uncertainty. And of course, the dreaded red flag has to be, oh, you're positive.
No, of course.
And the whole, you know, your whole
I mean,
holiday.
I get it. That's the reason I haven't travelled anywhere for the last 18 months. You know, and before, every 3 months, I would go somewhere, Singapore or Vietnam, or, you know, I'd travel to different places just to sort of have a change of scenery, even for a week.
Yeah.
But I'm reluctant to do that because I got stuck in another country during COVID, and I don't really want to sort of go through that again. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It can't be nice to sit there. I mean, I know people that come over here and sadly they've tested positive. Next thing it's right, that's it, in isolation you go, 10 days, lots of money, blah, blah, blah. So I do appreciate and understand their situation.
Yeah.
So you're going to shop for 2 months.
Yep.
And review it in 2 months' time.
Yep.
And then we'll have a look at where you are and what your decision process will be moving on. So the next 2 months, what's on your agenda? Where are you going to go?
Koh Chang tomorrow on my bike. Touring bike, and then probably up to, I've always wanted to visit up north, Chiang Rai, and do all that sort of stuff. I know it's not the perfect time of the year to do it because it's a little bit warm, wet season, all that sort of stuff.
That's the rain last night, my lord.
Yeah. I'm just going to do some of the things you can't do when you own a bar, because it's literally, owning a bar is like a living, breathing, it's like having a baby. You can't leave it alone for a minute. You're always giving it some attention, or there's always something that needs to be fixed, or a problem that needs to be resolved, so I'm going to spend the next couple of months doing that.
So when you come back, you're going to have long hair and chilled hair?
Maybe. I will, you won't.
Oh, that was nasty. All right, well, listen, it's been brilliant talking to you. Before we finish up, I've just got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
So we've got someone watching the channel right now, and they've never been out here before, never know what to expect, but they are going to come out here right now.
Yep.
What would be your words of wisdom to them? Someone that's coming in for the very first time, that's going to land tomorrow night, and say, listen, son, put your cases down, sit down with Alan and have a chat. Just
come and enjoy yourself. I mean, don't let all the sort of the bad news or whatever sort of
Absolutely.
clouds your mind or whatever, just come here, have a good time. I mean, Pattaya is a brilliant place, and it was even a brilliant place during the lockdowns. It was just obviously the regulations, but just come and have a good time and you know, go with the flow.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's a really important point there that Tony said there, is that if you are coming out here, there is a lot of doom and gloomers, there's a lot of negativity. People saying, oh, it's not the same as it used to be. Well, nowhere's the same.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Nowhere's the same as it was before. Everything has changed, but you know, for me, change is good. So change can be a good thing. So just come here with an open mind, positive mindset, and you will have a good time, guaranteed.
Absolutely. I must admit, I think now's probably one of the best times.
Yeah,
Purely because the ratio is in their favour, so you're
absolutely.
like, wow,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in the sweet shop.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of new clubs open, renovated clubs.
Yep, yep.
A lot of places renovated during the lockdown, so everything looks really nice. It's just as a business owner, it's just a difficult time. So, but from your perspective, come and enjoy yourself.
Get yourself out here.
Yeah.
Last question then. So you've been through the grinder, you've come here as a happy-go-lucky tourist, then you dived into the bar scene. Now you're sitting there thinking, oh my Lord. Question has to be then, roll the clock back, would you do it all again?
Yeah, probably.
Would you?
Yeah, of course.
He's a glutton for punishment.
I've had some really good times, and I always say to people, the best thing about having any business in a place like Pattaya is the people you've met.
Yeah.
And I've met some amazing people over the years, and I continue, even now, I still meet some incredible people, and yeah, I wouldn't, you know, obviously life, you know, I hate that expression, life is a journey,
Yeah.
but it really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my man. Thank you so much indeed.
All right, mate.
Guys, listen, when things do reopen, obviously we'll keep you notified and we'll update you on Discord, etc. But come down, you know, when Tony does return from his travels and he does finish off travelling around, etc., and reopens, you know, honestly, we've had some fantastic times in the Sweets Lounge. We really have. It's been brilliant, absolutely top place. Come down and say hello. I will let you know on that. And don't forget, Alan Minter, come on. You got to back me up, guys. Don't float his boat with Antonio Bandera. I've gone from a proper boxer to I'm a
Jeff
superstar.
Fennick.
Oh yeah, Jeff Fennick. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. All right, well that's it from us today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the chat. Like I say, it's been fantastic chatting with Tony. He really is a lovely guy, and you know, I wish you all the best.
Thanks, mate.
And I look forward to seeing you when you open those doors again.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's it from us, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Check out Discord, okay? On Discord, we've got all the photos of all the girls in all the bars, loads of information. It's completely free to join. 16,000 members on there now, so get yourself across there, have a look, and when Tony does get back, I'll push him on there and say, come on, get on there and share us some more of your fantastic stories. All right, that's it from us, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, please, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.